My name is Jake New. I am the Regulatory Compliance Specialist at Barton Springs and Reservoir Conservation District. And my section will be talking about water allocations and restrictions and why we have them. Basically, why are we here as a district, why we permit wells, why do we have drought curtailments. So starting really with Texas Water Code, Chapter 36, this is the rules and bylaws is our enabling legislation. Through Chapter 36, we achieve the district's missions, which is conserving, preserving, protecting, enhancing recharge, preventing waste of groundwater, and preserving all aquifers in the district. So we do this by registering wells, permitting pumping. When it goes into drilling new wells, the spacing of the wells, how they're constructed, making sure aquifers aren't commingling. Aquifer studies, curtailments during drought, those drought targets, and preventing unreasonable impacts. And this is a big one that will go on the next slide. Basically, unreasonable impacts, we want you to be able to use your well, we want your neighbor to be able to use your well, we don't want your neighbor to impact you from using your well, is how I would kind of simply put it. And this goes into well interference, causing issues in water quality, how much you can yield from your well, and the possibility of maybe someone having to lower their pump to reach the new level of water in their well. If desired future conditions cannot be achieved, that would be an unreasonable impact. When we say desired future conditions, how do we want our aquifer to look in the future with a growing population, with climate change? It's basically our goals of how making all of this work together. And then significant decreases in spring flow, base flows. This is important to us that we'll get in with the Habitat Conservation Plan. We have to monitor that spring flow at Barton Springs. We have to monitor the habitat for the salamanders. And that's big backing for why we do what we do and then land subsidence. So the Habitat Conservation Plan, this is an agreement with U.S. Fish and Wildlife showing how we plan on taking care of the springs and how pumping, spring flow, and salamanders, how that all can happen together in sort of an equilibrium and no negative effects happening. There is a one-to-one relationship between pumping and spring flow. As pumping happens, spring flow can decrease, and that affects dissolved oxygen, which has a direct impact on salamanders. So preserving spring flow and preserving all of that is why we have those drought curtailments, why we go deeper into drought. The desired future conditions comes into play here. An extreme drought of record, we have a goal of keeping the spring flow at 6.5 cubic feet per second. This ensures that they can still, it will have an effect on them, but ensures that the population can be sustained. After U.S. Fish and Wildlife reviews our HCP, they give us an incidental tank permit. This basically allows us to permit for pumping from the Evans Aquifer. Allows it to happen, again, in a sustainable way, where both can happen. We submit an annual report to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife every year, reporting on how we've complied and upheld our promise to them in the HCP. We have 8 minimization measures, and this is really, I'm only going to single out 4 of them because I feel like it's kind of a whole goal of why we're here and what we can do. Those minimization measures are provide the most efficient use of groundwater, control and prevent waste of groundwater, address drought conditions, and addressing demand reduction through conservation. So I wanted to leave y'all with this visualization of the water droplet stretching. We have to stretch our water. It really, like, pertaining to public water suppliers is our biggest permittees. It's hard for the smaller ones to get alternative sources. It's not just to get more water from the aquifer out east or solutions like that. We can't permit them more Edwards. We're at the point with the Trinity, we're not there yet, but maybe for so long we won't be able to permit as much from the Trinity. So what can they do? How do they stretch their water? It seems, I think Marisa and Shay plan on going into this later, but it's just things like rainwater, doing more zero and rockscaping. I don't know, but just solutions like that every day to stretch our water. Any questions?
But the state also does have some laws in place, so as far as xeriscaping goes, HOAs cannot restrict your ability to xeriscape your lawn. They can have some influence on it, but if you wanted to put in xeriscaping within, on your lawn, HOAs have no authority over that. So that's a law that has been passed over the last few years. The state has also incentivized rainwater harvesting as far as it not being a taxable, like
Yeah, you don't pay property tax on it, yeah.
tax, which
That's not an incentive, but
yeah, I mean, there is a start there, but so there are some things, but I do just want to clarify that.
No, I agree, and I know as far as making end users more aware, maybe something municipalities might want to comment on too. I know smart metering is becoming more common these days,
Yes.
but using the smart meters correctly is a big deal too. You know, having those logins for the end users so they can see in real time how their actions are affecting the water use. And just like you said, educating the population, the big population.